so incompetent and so corrupt that they would rather monetize every of your problems. That's what they do. Monetize that. But indeed, of course, it's not, the whole blame is not just for the government. Did you see the nonchalant attitude of the woman that is roasting the corn? She's like, we are waiting for Aboki to come and pack it. No, don't give your waste to Aboki. You need to pack them properly and give them to Loma. Usually when you have markets, okay, you have this big, massive skip. Do you know why they put big skips in front of markets or at the back of markets? Simply because it can collect all the waste. And then you see the truck will come, pick up the skips. You can have like about 10, 15, 20 skips. When I say skips, I'm not talking about bean. In fact, there are actually some bean, some industrial beans, right? Not this tiny one that we use here at Tomo. I'm talking about the big one, massive ones, right? That looks like skip, plastic. And you could have, as a government, as a policy, everywhere you have markets, everywhere you know people are kind of, whether on a bus stop or what have you, right? You build all these skips in these areas that they are so huge and so big enough that only trucks that comes around to pick them takes them away. But there is no real plan. Everybody just do what they want. And they will tell you there is a plan, Lagos plan. For those who have never really lived in Lagos, there are those they will tell you about Lagos plans. So much like a Rudale, it's like a jungle. You say, Omo will leave that one and go back to Abuja. Okay. Today, their Supreme Court gave a judgment, and that judgment was to give the financial autonomy. So the local government areas in Nigeria. But it's all coming out now like it seems like it's a bubble. So from what we know, right? Sometimes in May 2020, I'm going to give you this timeline so that probably you will get where I'm going with this. Okay. So in May 2020, Bokwari at the time said he was using his executive order to grant the local government areas in Nigeria financial autonomy. Breaking news. Bokwari grants local government areas financial autonomy. It didn't take long. 5 months after that. Oh, hang on. It wasn't even like 5 months after that. It was like about a month after that. The state governors in Nigeria took Bokwari's government to court. Because according to them, there is a section of the Nigerian constitution that lawfully authorized them to create the state local government joint account. And the local government money should be paid into that account. They have actually managed to get that into their fraudulent 1999 constitution as amended. So they sued Bokwari, therefore local government couldn't get their money directly. But Bokwari knew, but that's how they kind of play on the intelligence of a lot of you. So in 2021, they took Bokwari, the court actually granted their, what do you call it? They took Bokwari to court almost a month after that. And by 2021, the Supreme Court was ready to hear their case. Yeah, was ready to hear their case. Also, by February 2022, the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled in favor of the governors, state governors, and said, except the section of that their constitution is amended or expunged, removed totally, Bokwari had no power or any executive power to grant local government financial autonomy. That was the end of it. Now, fast forward it now to March 2022, just a year after that. The next thing that happened was for the Nigeria National Assembly members, the Senate, under Robert Stamp Lawan. I don't know how they did that. Okay, they said, I'm gonna know. Right. So in I think it's in May 2022 rather. So they backed Bokwari, and then somehow, I think no, I think I have to roll it back. Okay, Bokwari actually got a judgment from the Supreme Court in his favor. No, not in the governor's favor. Right? Bokwari wins the case, but somehow, it was never implemented. Then Tinubu came. This time around, in 2024, this month, which is just today, yeah. So before today, sometimes in February, Tinubu also kind of took the state governors to court, this time just straight to the Supreme Court to interpret the judgment they gave in 2022, that the local government should kind of get their money directly. Remember, the section of the law that the governors are using as their own shield is still there, not amended, not changed. So the Supreme Court now ruled again today for the second time in 2 years that indeed it is so wrong for the state governors to be actually controlling the local government money. It should go straight to them. And any state that fails to conduct a local government election, right, should not receive any allocation from the federal government, Abuja. Also, the local government, the state governors have no power. This is just in rulings of the Supreme Court, or it's not their law, right? But Supreme Court kind of have that power to interpret what that law means. This is them now interpreting that section that says they should create that joint account wherever, right? Confusing, you will say. That's it. More confusing. I'm doing my best to make it more easier out of the entire confusion, okay? So the ruling of the Supreme Court today was interpreted by this guy. I'll add mine after as well, right? Listen.
Just delivered by the Supreme Court has finally made the rest allocation of funds to the local governments in Nigeria. Their lordships considered the matter and came to the conclusion that although Section 162, so 5 and 6 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria makes provision that money due to local government shall be paid through the joint account. That provision was considered to be a discretionary provision, meaning it can be tinkered with. And in their lawsuit judgment, that is not mandatory. Therefore, their lawsuit came to the conclusion that money due to local government shall henceforth be paid directly from the federation account to the 777 local government and 6 municipal council.
So pay their money to them directly. Don't interfere in their own affairs per se, but you can perform oversight function. Oversight is that you can still kind of monitor what they are doing with the money. Now, how much are we talking about? Let me give you some instances, okay? So that you have an idea of how much money we are talking about here. You know that Lagos State is considered as the richest state in Nigeria because of IGR. It's not because of the economy per se, it's because of how much money they are squeezing. And you cannot, right? You cannot rate the success of any community based on the money you are taking from people. It has to be like reinvested in them so that you can say, oh, the high tax people are paying is really paying off if you see the standard of infrastructure that serves the people in that state. So generally, it's reported. Okay. The body that is the company that is collecting the taxes for Lagos State government is called the Alpha Beta, owned by Tinubu, your president. Now they collect the taxes for Lagos. Now they take out their own 30% of the money. And then they give the rest to the Ministry of Finance in Lagos. That's their own IGR. So by so doing, they were able to kind of mop up enough money that they declare that they make over 400 billion naira from taxes in a year, when some states are generating maybe about 15 billion a year. Lagos was generating over 400. Then recently they said the Lagos state is now generating over 600 billion annually. And if you break that down, it's practically saying Lagos is generating over 50 billion naira every month from IGR, just collecting taxes from people. Okay? Now, if they declared over 600 billion annually as what Lagos is generating, do you know how much Lagos is collecting annually as well from Abuja? Okay. Lagos State is generating, according to Demo, Lagos is generating over 20 billion or thereabout on VAT alone every month. So this money is part of the money that they will have to reshare and share to everybody as part of allocations that goes to them, okay? Now, Lagos State collects allocation from Abuja. So take a look at this. So between June 2023 and June 2024, the 20 local government areas in Lagos State collected a total sum of 258.3 billion naira. That's how much that was given to them between July 2023 and June 2024. That's the total. And you know how much Lagos State collected as a state? Remember, you have 3 tiers of government. You have the federal government, you have the state government, and then you have the local government. The first figure I gave you, in a year, 20 local governments of Lagos State collected from Abuja over 258.3 billion. That's the local government. In the same year, under review, between July 2023 and June 2024, Lagos State as a state collected the sum of 253.9 billion as allocation in 1 year. So in this 1 year, Lagos State government and Lagos State local government collected over 505 billion a year. That's how much they cashed out from Abuja. 505 billion from Abuja. And if you add that to their supposed 600 billion IGR, that should automatically say Lagos State alone kind of had access to a liquid cash in excess of 1 trillion naira. There is no other state that has such access to such money. And guess what? Lagos State is the most indebted state in Nigeria as well, with the debt that is currently running over 4 trillion naira. And if I ask you to show me what they have done with the money, I don't think a lot of you will not fight me and turn it to fight, because you will have nothing to really show and say, hey, but you see, look at the metro rail, look at the metro line, look at the speedboat, look at and say, okay, can we put all the prices together and see and compare them to all this revenue? And then maybe you will still be able to insist. Look at this, look at that. And that's for Lagos. Now you see, Kano is another very densely populated state in Nigeria. In the same year under review, Kano State local government areas between the month of July 2023 and last month, June 2024, the 40 or so, or 44 local government areas of Kano, they collected 160.9 billion naira. That's how much they collected from Abuja. The local government areas. The state as a body collected an excess of 152.3 billion naira. Now, if you join these two together, what are you going to get? From Abuja alone, Kano states drawn over 300 billion naira in allocation in 1 year. Kano. And if you go to Osun State, Osun in the same period, the local government areas in Osun, they drawn, the excess of 87.9 billion naira as allocation for the local government areas, while the states collected in the same period 82.1 billion naira. And if you add these two together, you're going to have 170 billion naira. That's how much Osun State collected from Abuja for local governments and for states. Now, if you go to Oyo, I have the figure of Oyo here too. Now, in that same vein, in a year, from the money they are sharing every month, local governments in Oyo State collected in excess of 127.8 billion naira. That's how much the local government collected, shared, supposedly, even though it didn't go to them. It went straight to the governor, who would then have to use his own discretion to share it as he wished. While the state collected 121.1 billion, that's how much money Oyo State collected as a state from the federation account, 121 billion. So 121 plus 127, actually 248 billion naira went to Oyo State. The reason why I'm giving you this figure is because this money didn't go to the local government areas. It went straight to the pocket of the governors, who out of their own magnanimity, generosity, will now decide which road should be fixed, which schools should be fixed, and which hospitals should be equipped, and when they should be done. Now, let me give you another one. There's another one, Kaduna. Kaduna is in such a debt that their own is worse. Because of El-Rufai's stealing and looting, Kaduna is in such a debt that when they deduct all the deductibles from their allocation, right, they just give them peanuts. That's the wreck that El-Rufai caused them. But on the year under review, Kaduna still managed, the Kaduna local government areas, so they still managed to get about 100 billion. It's actually like 98.9 billion naira for all the Kaduna local government areas. I'm not sure the money got to them, okay? While the state got 93.9 billion naira. So if you add these two together, you're going to have something around the 184 or so billion. That's how much Kaduna got using the local government joint account. And for Bokwari State in Katsina, they even got more. See, the local government in Katsina State got nearly 120 billion naira. They didn't get the money. You need to go and look at them and see if they have, they look like a place that got 120 billion naira from Abuja. The state itself got 121 billion. Now, if you add these two together, that's like 249 billion naira for Katsina State. Where is the money? So when the judgment came, it just sounded like those that we have heard before. It's just part of the news that will never materialize. People salivate on that. They are currently sort of reacting to it in Nigeria right now. Oh, this is a great news. This is yeah. Bokwari gave you the same vibe. Have you forgotten? No, you can't. I don't think you have forgotten. Okay. But there is this lawmaker, initially when we were talking about the SAMOA deal, whatever, EU, LGBTQ stuff that they are rejecting, it sounded like it's more from northern Nigeria. But I found somebody else who is a lawmaker inside their National Assembly who is telling Tinubu that, come on, man, look for money elsewhere. Do not implement this agreement in Nigeria. He's from Abia State. Listen.
Ikweche. And I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak very briefly about some of the contents of this SAMOA agreement. Mr. Speaker, this agreement has certain clauses that happens to be in variance with our way of life. We are Africans, we are not Westerners. We have our laws, we have our way of life, we have our way of doing things. And as far as I'm concerned, this issue of human rights, which Nigeria does not in any way violate, should not be implicitly enshrined into this agreement, and members representing the people. This is the people's house. This is the people's parliament. We stand here in my own right. I represent over 1.something million people from Aba. And I have been told that this particular human rights clause happens to be reprehensible, abominable, and we do not intend to stand for it. Do I speak the minds of my people here? Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to do things that do not align or that is... Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
We cannot continue to engage in contrived way of governance, cosmetic way of running government. Let us focus on the issues that matter. Our people are hungry.
Yes.
Our people are starving.
Yes.
People cannot buy food. There is insecurity. There is no light in the country.
Yes.
Industries are not growing. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Why are we here talking about LGBT, GTBT, whatever? Let us concentrate on the issues that matter. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, our people are not interested in this. So let us step it down. Let us close it. Let us forget everything about it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, please.
Ikweche.
And at the Senate, they are discussing how to create another state from Kano that will be called Tiga State. This one.
Presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Kau Sulaiman on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, alteration, creation of Tiga State Bill 2024 SB 523. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
The Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, Creation of Tiga State, first reading.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, creation of the proposed Tiga State, SB 523, sponsored by Senator Kau Sulaiman Rahman Sumaila. First reading taken.
Presentation of a bill.
And the senator that want to create Tiga State from Kano was saying, giving 1,000 naira to Alimajiri children to go and buy food and soap to bath themselves. I don't know if you have seen this.
Wai gaya muku musulmi yana zama da kayan sa zan ba ku kuɗi na ku
je ku yi wanki ku yi wanka ku yi aski ku ci abinci ban ce ku ba malam komai ba in kuka yi rigima zan koyi ga shi na abin da gaya muku kuma Qur'ani sai ya ci mutum in ya je shi abin da ba shi wajen salasa ba sahabul maimana ma sahabul maimana.
Don't say God, get patience, right? Maybe those are the people that they will probably put together to form the